and they garnered the right emotions. And I think it's a testament to them as to why it's been so successful and continues to be in such demand. I mean, if you look at Carluke, for example, the number of people who said to missed the premiere or the charity screening and were like, "Oh, well, I'll go to Carluke," kind of flippantly saying that, and then Richard got in touch with me today and said, "Listen, we're going to have one table in a public sale because the rest is gone." So it is building up, and I think Irvine Club's almost sold out as well. Nairn, the 19th of December, there's big interest in that, so and that'll take it right through next year, so.
Yeah, brilliant, Paul. I mean, it's absolutely delighted. It's working out this way. It's fantastic, and the fact that it's so organic as well probably makes it even more, sweet. I mean, obviously you probably haven't got time to stand around and take note of well, I think things are going really well. So drop your bollocks from work, but I mean.
Joe, you just said something there. I've not got a fucking clue what you're talking about. He says, "I'm just glad it's so organic." Right?
All right, it's people growing. Like, it's not like there's no company behind this shit. Nobody's giving Paul money. Nobody's giving an advance to make this happen. Like, it's all been out of.
So there's no pesticides on it or anything like that.
You know what I'm speaking metaphorically because I'm poetic like that. You know what I mean?
You're an artistic type of guy. You just have to explain it to all arms like myself.
You say artistic or autistic?
You're special. Put it that way.
But I'm delighted Paul is going. I really can't wait to see this. And you mentioned I mean, I've been reading the ebook attached to the soundtrack, and Chris did a great job on that as well.
Yeah.
And people don't understand. Like, the editor really is the guy that makes the film.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
He's the guy with the skill, and it's his vision you're going to see. And I mean, obviously you can guide him, but I mean, it's what he cuts together, and people don't really understand that. You know what I mean? Especially any dickhead can get a camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Only a proper guy who knows what he's doing can make a film.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know yourself, Joe, in terms of an editing process, that is a hell of a long, laborious process, and he would be able to show me stuff and say, "Would you get that?" I said, "That looks fine." He said, "No," and then he would change it in 10 different ways, and he said, "Oh Christ, it does look a little better now."
Yeah.
And that is where the skill is, because I said before, if it's a story, you need a beginning, middle, and end. So there's a beginning, middle, and end there. There's also a build up to the end. There's a few things revealed at the end, and there's different tones set throughout the film. And that's all him. That's not. I mean, he's the one. You can sort of say, well, this is the kind of tone we need, but he'd be the guy that'd be like, what song would be perfect for this, or what music would be perfect for this. Added to the fact that, the song that you wrote, Joe, which is, you talk about organic stuff. I mean, everybody who's had the soundtrack has mentioned your song lyrically, and I think lyrically it's as good as anything in the charts, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass, because you took that subject matter and you actually just made the embodiment of that in that song. And there are some quotable, if this was a Hollywood blockbuster, this would be things that people would be quoting for years from that song, because I think that's as good. And you actually, I appreciate that, because sometimes people can be half-assed for these things, but you put the thought into it to actually, make as good a song as that. And as I say, everybody absolutely loves it.
Thanks very much, Paul. I mean, I spent a good bit of time on it. Like you say, editing, doing anything creative and trying to put it together electronically and produce it, it takes ages, man. I mean, the lyrics of that song came together. The first verse came together in about 20 minutes, right? And that's generally the way I work. First verse, and then it'll be 2 months later before the next one comes along. You know what I mean? But putting it together, like I told you in the email I sent you, I spent 8 hours listening to the thing over and over and over and over again, constantly going, "That's too loud. That's not good enough. Change that. Put a low end there. Put a low end there." And I'm not a producer. I just fucking going out. It has to sound good enough, and it has to. I knew the subject matter had to be clinched in one piece. I mean, there couldn't be any loose ends, because I obviously assume now from what I've heard about the film is that the film clinches the subject matter and closes it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was the synergy was jazz editing and your song coming at a point that is euphoric. It lifts people up, and that's exactly what the song was managed to do. And as I say, I would urge people, if they get the soundtrack over, to just listen to the lyrics, because they are just so on the money. And I'm not advocating getting T-shirts, because that's a bad route to go down. But, just quote the lyrics, because they're just so on the money.
I came together well. I was delighted. I was happy with it now. I mean, I'm glad. I was very happy you were happy with it. I was like, thank fucking God for that. You know what I mean? Because the last thing I wanted to be going, nah, it's never really what I want. Bollocks. You know what I mean? But no, it was great. I'm delighted things are working out, and I really can't wait to see the film. I really, really can't. And
well, as I say, I mean, you talk about organic and that, Joe. I mean, a lot of the stuff comes out of this show.
Yeah.
Because even if it's just the crack or making me feel better or whatever, you know, I make mention of that in the ebook that, you know, this is a massive part of it, and it's like I like things and people that can do stuff who have come for nothing, and that's basically all us, you know what I mean? And we can actually go out and create stuff, and we're not waiting on anybody, and we're not asking for anything for anybody, but we're still going out and doing it, and that's you know, that's what it's all about. That's partly why we can fight back at the establishment, you know.
Yeah, and we live in those times. What the fuck is that?
What's that?
Hell.
Oh, somebody's trying to FaceTime my daughter, one of her friends. I had to turn that shit off. Hold on. But no, I lost my train of thought there. No, listen.
I got her on there.
No, she's a young girl. She met her on holiday, one of them ones. But anyway, what was I saying there? I was talking about something else. But no, I can't wait to see the film. I really can't. I really can't wait to see the response. Coming to see it. I'm coming to see you, Paul, as well. It's been ages.
Aye, I know. I'll be looking forward to even more now, Joe, actually. That'd be great.
You know, so, brilliant. Speaking of things that will come out of this show, I went to Goodison Park.
Oh,
if we're going to switch over to Everton, which we eventually do at some point, Paul, you know that. I mean,
I'm saying nothing.
What do you mean you're saying nothing? You were fucking in Wolfsburg last week. Watching Everton when the Celtic are playing at home, right? So, Now listen, we've all accepted, right, that you have, a mistress on the side, right, shall we say?
We're still talking about Everton here.
Linda doesn't listen to this show anyways, it doesn't matter.
Linda, you want to hear what they're saying here?
But anyway, so first off, how was your trip to Wolfsburg? Was it good? Where is Wolfsburg anyway? Germany?
Germany. Sort of the middle north of Germany. It was excellent. We stayed in Hanover. And a big mate of mine, he's married a German girl, so he lives in Hanover, just by fluke. I sent him an email and I was like, look mate, we're coming to Germany, I don't know where you stay, because I'd lost contact, I hadn't really kept contact with him, it was years ago I moved over. And he's like, so where are you going to? I says, we're coming to Hanover. He's like, I live in Hanover. Told him in the hotel. He's like, that hotel's across the road to where I live. Couldn't believe it. So he came out with his idea, it was brilliant. And we went to Amsterdam first, got our photos took with the Fiend lamppost. then we headed to Hanover in the morning in the train, and the train was just wall to wall Everton fans. Then we gets to Hanover, and my mates from Holland, the guys, Roda fans that come over to watch Celtic, they all came as well. They met up with all the Scousers and we get the train down to Wolfsburg. There isn't much in Wolfsburg. It's like a town, like nearly everybody works in the Volkswagen factory, so there's only a few pubs. It's nice enough.
Isn't the stadium the Volkswagen Stadium?
Aye, I think so, aye. Cracking wee stadium. Aye, it's nice. But one thing I would say is that Germany's just the best place in the world to go and watch football.
Why?
You know, it just, the police and everything, you know, you wouldn't even have known they were there. They didn't even keep the Everton fans in after the game. You know, everybody just left and the game was finished. You got a pint of the game. I think it was non-alcohol, but you never even seen the police. You know, there's loads of them as you're walking in, but they just kept a low profile, just let everybody enjoy themselves. Wasn't even the slightest bit of trouble. Fans were all mingling. And just a fantastic time. And the Germans are just, you're in the pubs with them before it, they just love their beer and love their footy. And it was great. And then the next day we get the train back to Amsterdam. And in between that, I had about 5 or 6 power naps. So obviously,
well documented power naps, I gotta say.
Well, you need a power nap when you're in a 3-day session. You know, you need a few power naps.
Listen here, I know I had a long trip to Goodison, I tell you.
But one thing I would say is, look, you're going to watch the game, right? So you're at the game and like, you're wanting Everton to win, but you're not really that bothered. You're kind of, but they're all singing, we're the team that's going to win. You get the fuck up. Me and our George saying, are you fuck? You know, because you can't sing that. You're a Celtic supporter, do you know what I mean? And it's like, you can't join with some of their songs because you're just like, nah, I don't want you in the fuck up. I want Celtic to win it. But no, it was a great trip and good time with all my mates for Liverpool and that. Absolutely brilliant. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I've seen plenty of photographs now. Definitely, I mean, the famous Higgins rubbernecker working straight down. You sleep anywhere, man. You're just like me. I mean, I will sleep anywhere.
So what was your trip like to Everton when you?
That was great, man.
Went to the game?
It started off as a bit of a nightmare. I was working on Friday night, right? I was working at midnight, and then I thought, right, I'll go home and get a few hours kept because the flight to Manchester was at 6 a.m. But when I was in work, I got a massive toothache. I was like, oh, bollocks. So then, because I didn't get any sleep all night, so I just got up and went to the airport and had a few coffees. So I was on the go, and then I got to Manchester. I went up to Liverpool then, met up with Stevie up in County Road in the Witherspoons, and met Stevie, Paddy, Liam, and David.
Right.
And, just chatting, great crack, a few pints, and then headed up to the Royal Oak, or the Oak as it's known,
The Oak,
County Road, which is obviously an Everton stronghold. Jesus Christ, what a place! There are the glasses. I was brilliant though. But there were some hardcore Everton fans in there, I tell you. But the thing I did notice about it, and I can see why it attracts you as well, it's a very community-based support. I mean, literally, I walked up to the ground just to have a look, and literally the ground is there, and your fucking doorstep is across the street. Like,
I think they actually says it's about 80% of their home fan base takes public transport to the game.
Yeah, I was starting outside, just watching people just milling around, walking up.
Or walks to the game.
I was seeing loads of people just walking to the game, like just coming out of their house with the scarves on, heading to the game. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, that's gotta be heaven for a local person. You know what I mean? Just to walk up to the game. But I mean, hanging with Everton fans, the crap was great. Scousers are hilarious. You know what I mean? They just they're like you. They'll just talk to anybody. I was just sitting there, just kind of minding my own business. And this young girl's like, "So where are you from?" I was like, "Oh, fair enough." You know what I mean? But it was great. Then went into the game and it was 2-1. Beat West Ham 2-1. Now, in fairness, I nodded out for about 5 minutes in the first half.
All right.
I mean, had to be powering up myself.
And you had another wee sleep later on the day, didn't you? You're going to tell the listeners about that?
But I want to talk about the game first. The game was good. Now, I mean, and it was a good game, and it's a great wee stadium. You know what I mean? And the fans are great. Loads of kids at the game too. I mean, people bringing their kids. And when Osman scored the winner, like I wasn't like Celtic going crazy, but like the fans are going mental. I was like, yeah, fucking bananas. You know what I mean? So it was good crack. And out of the game, it's a nice wee stadium. And then I headed back to their Oak then for a few pints. And then I got lost. I found two junkies, and they gave me directions to where I was going. And then I ended up on the train back to Manchester for the gig I was going to, and I woke up in Leeds. Right? Now, you got to understand, I have no concept of how far Leeds is from Manchester, right? So I could have been in fucking Newcastle for all I knew. I was like, oh, bollocks. What am I going to do? So I literally woke up as the train pulled up the Leeds and seen it. I was like, oh, fuck. Jumped up, got off the train, found a guy in a high-vis jacket, because high-vis jacket means you have information, apparently. And I said to the guy, listen, I need to get back to Manchester. How far away am I? And he says, about an hour. So I jumped on the train, and it took me about an hour, 10 minutes back to Manchester, and I got to the gig, and then the gig went on to 8 o'clock in the morning. And then I wound up sleeping at Manchester Airport, next to the Ryanair gate, for an hour and a half.
You must have been dying when you got home.
Oh, man, you've no idea. Because I've been at this gig all night, it was packed. It was an underground car park in Manchester, right? And it was all dancing all night. And I got in the security lane, right? And my belt or something went off, so I had to take my shoes off, right? So I took my shoes off, and the fucking face on the guy at the security lane, but I took my shoes off. The stench must have been incredible, because the amount of pish and beer I'd walked through all night. Oh, it was hilarious. So, I made it home. I got home to the house, and I happened to still be alive, and I slept for about 2 days.
Oh, you must have been gushed.
Oh, no, the Everton game was great. I definitely go back. You know what I mean? Definitely go back. It was great fun. And at Royal Oak was good crack. Like, I mean, it's a good laugh in there. Like,
aye, it's a great day. You know, it's a great day. But because I say you go to watch them, but you can't beat watching your own team. Do you know what I mean? I love going for a crack with the lads and that. But at the end of the day, Celtic, and when they were all singing that we were going to win the UEFA Cup, you were like, I can't sing that.
Not if you mean us, you won't. But the thing is, the one thing I will say, though, the last thing I'll say is that everybody I met in Liverpool was an Everton fan. And that means the taxi driver, the guy at the train station. And I asked, the taxi driver was like, I said, who's the bigger team? He said locally, he said Everton.
It's 50-50, mate. It's 50. Liverpool's a bigger team outside Liverpool.
That's what he said.
Norwegians and all that. But in the city, it's 50-50.
He said there's a massive Norwegian support for Liverpool.
Oh, aye. Loads of them.
Where the fuck's that come from?
Fuck knows. There's tons of them.
They've showed they showed the English First Division there in the 80s, live every week. So obviously Liverpool were the best team then, eh? So that's where